Welcome to XY Craft Studio, Nora here. In this video, let's crochet a simple pincushion. If you've made the Stitching the Sun project in July, I will also show you how to turn that project into a pincushion like this. We'll need medium weight yarn, a 3.5mm crochet hook, a stitch marker, a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, and fiber fill. If you're turning your embroidery project into a pincushion, you will also need an embroidery needle and thread. Let's start by crocheting the bottom of the pincushion. Take the yarn and make 4 chain stitches. Then, slip stitch into the first chain stitch to form a foundation ring. Make 1 chain stitch. This chain stitch does not count as a stitch. Then, we'll make the first round by making 8 single crochet stitches into the foundation ring. After making the first single crochet, put a stitch marker here to mark the first stitch of this round. Continue to finish the remaining stitches. Now, round 1 is finished, and it has 8 stitches. For round 2, we'll make 1 single crochet increase into each of the stitches from round 1. Making a single crochet increase is making 2 single crochet stitches into the same stitch. 1 single crochet is made. Put a stitch marker here so we know this is the first stitch of this round. Then, into the same stitch, make another single crochet stitch. One single crochet increase is finished. Continue to make single crochet increases into the remaining stitches. Round 2 is finished, and it has 16 stitches. For round 3, we'll make 8 sets of 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. One single crochet is made. Put a stitch marker here. Then, into the next stitch, make 1 single crochet increase. Now, 1 set is finished. Repeat the same steps to complete the remaining sets. Round 3 is finished, and it has 24 stitches. To make round 4, we'll also make 8 sets of stitches, but this time we'll make 2 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase as a set. 1 single crochet. Put a stitch marker here. Then, into the next stitch, make 1 single crochet. And then, make 1 single crochet increase into the next stitch. Now, we've finished our first set of 2 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. Repeat the same steps to make the remaining sets. Round 4 is finished, and it has 32 stitches. The steps for making round 5 through round 8 are the same. For each round, we'll make 1 single crochet into each stitch. A total of 32 single crochet will be made in each round. Make sure to mark the first stitch in the round so we don't lose track. Round 5 is finished. Continue to make the remaining rounds. Now, round 8 is finished. Slip stitch into the first stitch made in round 8. Then, fasten off the yarn. Weave in these two ends. The bottom part is completed. To make the top part of the pincushion, we'll repeat the steps for the bottom part without making round 5 through round 8. First, make a foundation ring by making 4 chain stitches. And then slip stitch into the first chain stitch. Then make 1 chain stitch, which does not count as a stitch. Then make 8 single crochet stitches into the foundation ring. Round 1 is finished. For round 2, make 1 single crochet increase into each of the stitches from round 1. Round 2 is finished. For round 3, make 8 sets of 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. Make 1 single crochet here and 1 single crochet increase into the next stitch. One set is finished. Repeat the same steps to make the remaining sets. Round 3 is finished. For round 4, make 8 sets of 2 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. Make 1 single crochet here and another single crochet into the next stitch. And then make 1 single crochet increase into the next stitch. Repeat the same steps to make the remaining sets. Round 4 is finished. Slip stitch into the first stitch made in round 4. Leave a few inches of the yarn tail for sewing. Fasten off the yarn. Place the top part over the bottom part. Align the stitches in the top part's final round to the stitches in the bottom part's final round. And we'll use the yarn tail from the top part to sew the two parts together. Thread the yarn tail through a needle. Bring the needle through a stitch in the bottom part's final round, from bottom up. Then, continue to bring the needle through the aligned stitch in the top part. Pull the yarn tail all the way through. Then, repeat the same steps for each set of stitches. Always bring the needle through the stitch in the bottom part, and then through the stitch in the top part. The stitch we used here for sewing is called a whip stitch. When halfway through, stuff the bottom part with fiberfill. Then, continue to use whip stitches to sew the remaining sets of stitches together. When finished, bring the yarn tail to the inside and out from the bottom. We'll tie a knot here to secure the yarn tail. Bring the needle through a stitch, like this. Pull the yarn through, but not all the way. Leave a small loop. Then, bring the yarn tail through this small loop and pull it tight. Next, bring the yarn tail to the inside through a place near the knot and out from a stitch that is away from where we made the knot. Trim the extra yarn. Our simple pincushion is finished. If you are using your embroidery work to make the pincushion, take an embroidery needle, thread the needle and tie a solid knot. Turn to the back of the fabric and make running stitches around. Let's start from here. Make sure your stitches are about a ½ inch away from the edge. When finished, gently pull the thread, and we can see the fabric start to take shape like a bowl. Stuff with fiberfill. Continue to pull the thread to close the opening. Make 1 or 2 long stitches to help the opening stay in position. Try to see if it fits into the bottom part. If you need to add more fiberfill, you should still be able to find a small opening for it. When it's about the right size, pull the thread tight. Try to fit it in the bottom part again. Then tighten the thread again, adjust the shape. And secure the stitch. Hide the thread inside. Trim off the extra length. Place it into the bottom part. A pincushion made with your embroidery work is finished. Compare it to the crocheted version. Which one do you prefer? Thank you for watching and making something with us. See you next time!